Do you feel about as confused as a chameleon in a bag of Skittles when it comes to what in the heck like Facebook even wants? Like, what makes some posts get great engagement, and why is it that maybe when you're posting something about your business that you're hearing crickets? Now, I'm here to tell you, whether you are just starting out or maybe you've been at it for a while but you just don't feel like you're gaining much traction, that it's definitely not too late. You can absolutely, when it comes to Facebook, build a solid brand, you can build a great following, and you can make some great money if you know what to do. And I'm not gonna lie, you're probably gonna need to unlearn some bad crap and some bad advice that you have been told in the past. Now, before we dive in case you are totally new to me and my channel, what's up? I'm Sherri Brown, social media strategist and business coach, helping you build your business and brand faster using social media and online marketing strategies. And again, today we're talking about the algorithm, because if you are building a business online, hopefully you're leveraging social media in some way. Now, if you're using Facebook, which you wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't, right? I will be the first to say that I was like the queen of listening to bad advice. Like 2014 Sherri had no following. 2014 Sherri was turning off way more people than I like to admit. And I was getting like horrible engagement. But with a few tweaks and staying consistent, I have been able to organically build my following just on my profile alone to about 10,000. I have to give a little shout out to this guy, John Eric, who I've learned a lot about the algorithm from. I know that he's kind of worked on and off with Facebook on different projects, and he seems to know more about the algorithm than anybody else. So I am just going to be sharing some of the tips that I have learned from him over the years to set you up to win. Now, the first thing you need to know is Facebook does not hate you. It wants to make you happy. That is the entire purpose of the algorithm. So its entire purpose is to really serve up posts that it thinks that you are gonna like the most and that it thinks your friends are gonna like the most. They wanna keep you on the platform for as long as possible. Why? Because Facebook makes money through advertising. So the longer that they can keep you on the platform and the longer that they can keep you happy, that means the more ads they can serve up and the more money they can make. So more often, like more times than not, if you find that your posts aren't getting any engagement and you don't feel like you're growing, you feel like you're posting to crickets, chances are it probably has to do with the type of content that you're putting out. Now, again, Facebook, its sole purpose is to make you happy and serve up the best content that it thinks that you want to see. Much like Netflix. Take Netflix, for example. Now, I have one account. We have a few different profiles under that account. I've got one, my 6-year-old little girl has one, and my 17-year-old stepdaughter has one. So when you log into the 17-year-old's account, based on the types of TV shows and the types of movies that she watches, Netflix is going to serve her up, shows that are related to that. So you're going to see like 13 Reasons Why and Grey's Anatomy and Jane the Virgin, which I've never seen it, but apparently she really liked it. If you log into my 6-year-old's account, you're going to see nothing but cartoons because that's all that she watches. So you're going to see Sophia the First and Goldie the Bear and all that other stuff. And if you log into my Netflix account, you're gonna see Marvel movies. I'm a huge Marvel fan. You're gonna see documentaries. I absolutely love me some documentaries. And you're gonna see a mix of some vampire stuff, because I will say I'm a fan of originals and Vampire Diaries and all like vampire type shows and things like that. And again, Facebook is no different. So if you're building a business and you find that, you're constantly just trying to pitch and promote, you've got to change your mindset, because that is likely turning people off, creating a negative experience for, the users on the platform. And just understand that if you're constantly like pitching and promoting and it creates a negative experience, what happens is you're kind of standing in the way of Facebook making money. And when you stand in the way of them making money, they're probably, well, not probably, they will weed you out and show your content less and less and less. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get it back, that you can't grow, because again, I'm living proof that you can be a recovering spammer and still grow. So now let's get into some of the key metrics of what makes certain posts show up over others. Now, the very first thing that goes into the algorithm, and there's a lot, so I can't cover everything because I don't even know, but I will tell you the most important things and break it down in a very simplified way that you will be able to understand. So the first thing that kind of goes or plays a part into the algorithm as far as what posts show up and what doesn't is what's called affinity, okay? Affinity is closeness of a relationship. It's the relationship or the closeness that you have with somebody else. So if you are sitting here and you're scrolling through your news feed and you are liking, commenting, sharing on a post, that is closeness of a relationship, and therefore you're engaging. And when you engage, well, the likelihood of another post of theirs showing up in the future on your newsfeed is pretty high, because to Facebook, they're like, okay, well, she likes this type of content, she's engaging with this person, so that's probably somebody that she's going to want to see their content again in the future. Now, understand this, when you are commenting on someone else's post, that does not get your post to show up more in their newsfeed. It just means that you should start seeing more of their stuff. If you want your stuff to start showing up in their newsfeed, you need to get them talking back to you. Now, again, the goal is to get them talking back to you. So be very mindful when you're going out there and you're engaging on other people's content. Don't just leave generic comments like, ooh, awesome, great. You want to create a conversation, get them replying back. Maybe, ask them a question, leave it open-ended. That way you can create a conversation. When you can do that, that's when your posts are more likely to start showing up in their newsfeed. Another thing that goes into the algorithm is the weight of a post. This is the cumulative, that's kind of a hard word, cumulative amount of likes, shares, and comments that a post has. So the more engagement a post has, the more that post is going to show up in the newsfeed of other people. This is why really slowing down and being way more intentional with the type of content that you put up is so important. Now, if you struggle when it comes to content, then I will leave right above in the cards and below a link to another video that I did all about how to create better, more engaging posts for social media. So you can be sure to check that out once you are done with this. Now, another thing that really goes into the algorithm is understanding that the types of posts, all posts aren't created equal, just like all engagement isn't created equal. A share is way more powerful than just a like, or a comment, like a thoughtful comment is going to be, have more weight on a post than just, liking it. Same thing when it comes to the types of posts. So really pay attention to new features that kind of roll out on Facebook. When Facebook rolled out Facebook Live, when people really started using Facebook Live, they had a big advantage because, when Facebook puts out new features, they really want new people trying it. And therefore, when you do, they're going to reward you by giving you a little bit of a boost. So understand that the types of posts that you put out, shares are not going to get their bottom of the barrel, which I actually talked about in last week's video about some of the, what lowers engagement on Facebook or what causes low engagement. Shares, if you're just sharing somebody else's content, it's going to get really low engagement. That post is not going to be put out in the newsfeed. However, if you were to do a Facebook Live, it's going to actually push it out into the newsfeed of way more people. Also, a live video has way more weight than if you were to put up a post with a link in the description. Why? Because Facebook doesn't want people leaving the platform. They want to keep you on it. So if you put up a post with a link in there, trying to take people out of the platform, then that post is going to receive lower engagement. It's going to be shown to fewer and fewer people. Now, another thing that really goes into the algorithm is where you post. You know what I mean? So I kind of look at Facebook as three little mini social media platforms in one, because you have your profile, you've got Facebook groups, and you also have business pages. And so, for instance, and I'm not going to go into all the pros and cons because I did another video all about that, which I will link down below. It's the Facebook pages versus profile versus groups, and I went more in depth on the pros and cons. But when it comes to your profile, when you put up a post, you get a little bit of a bump. About 8% of your connections will actually see that. Versus if you post something on a business page, it's only about 1 to 2%. Facebook groups are somewhere in between. Now, also, right now, at the end of 2019, going into 2020, stories are huge on Facebook. And right now, stories, there's not an algorithm. Like, there's no algorithm to stories. It's not, like the time that you put up a Facebook story, it doesn't really matter because it's up for 24 hours. So, stories about up to 20% of your connections can actually, are seeing your story. So you've got a bigger advantage there as well. So if you want Facebook to work for you, again, just understanding like the purpose of it and what it's trying to do will allow you to step up your game. And I like the fact that like right now, I don't see a lot of really pitchy or, spammy, real big promotional just types of posts, because I don't, number one, engage with those types of posts and therefore I don't see them. But number two, I think that it, as a business owner, as somebody with a side hustle, I think it's good because it makes you kind of have to step up your game and be different. If you want to stand out, you have to kind of level up. You have to respect the platform. And if you want it to work for you, help Facebook win and they will help you win. So I want to give you, some pro tips that can really help you kind of up your game. The first is really focusing on connecting and building up your friends list or your followers with quality people. Don't just, because you get 5,000 friends on your profile, don't just try to max it out, because if you have 5,000 people and, none of them are really who that ideal person is that you want to help, that you want to serve, then it's a waste of time and nobody is going to engage in your content. So focus on really connecting with the right people. The second thing is really thinking about like who your audience is and how you can really step up your game and show up in bigger ways to serve them. Really connect and like help them win, because again, everybody's looking for a transformation and nobody really cares about a problem that you have or whether you hit your goals, but they do care about their own problem and their own transformation, and they're looking for help. People come to social not with a credit card in hand. They come to be entertained, educated, inspired. They don't come to get pitched. The third pro tip that I have for you, and this is really going to impact like what you start seeing in your newsfeed, is really only engage and comment, like thoughtfully comment on posts that you want to see more of, and less on stuff that you want to kind of like let die, like negativity. There's a reason why I don't really see anything negative in my newsfeed, again, because I don't sit here and engage on it. So engage more on the stuff that you want to see more of, less on the stuff that you don't. Fourth pro tip, do unto others. This may seem like super common, but hear me out here. If you don't like getting like inauthentic messages or inauthentic comments on your stuff, then don't do that to other people. Now, also, you want to make sure that your profile is set up in a way that is really attracting people and not turning them off. Like, first impressions definitely matter. And I'll be the first to tell you, when I first got started, I got started in network marketing and I was not creating my online programs like I have now or anything like that. And so I was just like a billboard for my network marketing company. And I get a lot of students, especially students who are in network marketing, who think that their brand and, that they have to like plaster their company everywhere. And this is such a huge turnoff. So if you haven't already, I will leave some information below in the comments and in the description, but be sure to download my first impressions checklist. And this is going to tell you 9 things that you can do to really step it up and make sure that your profile is really attracting people from the start. Now, I also want to hear from you. I want to know below in the comments, what are some advice that you've been given to really grow your business over on Facebook? Now, if I'm being honest, I have been told to do some ridiculous things that, looking back, I could not believe that I actually used to do that or think that it would be effective in any ways. I'm thinking about doing an upcoming video where I'm kind of like, looking at the different advice people are giving and saying, yes, that's true, that's going to help with the algorithm, or no, that is a total myth, you should not do that. So let me know some of the advice below in the comments. Now, if you got some value from this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, all the things, share. And while you wait on the next video, you can also check out these 2 videos over here. I'll leave some more resources below that's really going to help you crush it when it comes to building your business on Facebook, your brand on social media. So until next time, hope you have the most amazing day, the most amazing week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.